Hey guys, it's Julian, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Ableton's drum bus. I'm going to be talking to you about how to use it, why I use it so much, and how you can use it to make your tracks sound a lot more interesting and professional. I get a lot of questions like this. I use it in almost every single video, and the short of the long with this is use it to give sounds sonic character while also fattening them up. So what I have right in front of me right here, which I'm going to be using to illustrate this, is this little house loop I made. I'll play it for you. Super simple. We have this completely dry 909. This is just Ableton's Core 909 kit. I've turned off this drum bus as well that's on it by default. We've got this stab, and then this bass line. And as you can see, these are all completely dry. They really have no character or color to them. It's very flat. It's just the raw elements. And this is kind of like a big issue for a lot of people. You know, it's like, how do you get from this to something that sounds like an actual house track, that actually has character to it and actually hits pretty hard and can contend with other tracks when you're trying to mix it together. And this is what I like so much about drum bus, is that what it's doing, I'll start dropping this on here. We'll put one on each track here. What it's doing is it's giving your sounds some saturation and a little bit of compression as well, but then it's also just giving them character because it's a very colorful saturation and compression. And yeah, it can just work really well to get your sounds from kind of point A here, just being super dry and simple, to really sounding like proper sounds, you know. Now here's what this all sounds like when we drop the drum buses on. I'll turn this all down a little bit, but you can hear right off the bat, that just makes a huge difference in terms of really getting these to sound powerful and fat, and also again just they have a bit of character to them. And if we start going in again, we're starting with this super dry 909 sound. It doesn't really hit, it doesn't have a lot of character to it, but pretty quickly we can just get this to really sound nice. You know, if you really wanted to, you could go full lo-fi house with this. And this is just one effect that comes by default with Ableton. You know, it's super great for that, just putting on multiple things, all these different drums at once like this. And just getting this nice, fat and colorful sound out of it. And then same deal with the stab, you know, we can go in. So again, we go from this to this. This really feels like it's got some power, so it can work in an actual track. And then we'll go to the bass line and tweak that a little bit too. And yeah, you know, you can see just with one plugin on each of these, we make a big difference in terms of just getting everything to really sound colorful and exciting, and it's just gonna make your tracks have so much more life to them. And you know, there are a million different plugins that do this, to be honest. There's a lot of different ones from Waves and PSP and a bunch of different other companies, FabFilter. You know, a lot of people make plugins like this, but I just love drum bus so much because it comes by default with Ableton, and it's got everything you need in there. Another really great thing about this is the Transient knob. You may have noticed I turned it up a bit on the stab, so here's without that. And then with it. I'll do it on the drums too. So there's without it. And with it, you know, this is one of the few things that I found that is actually just a one knob that you can turn up, and it'll actually make the transients come through more on the drums, you know. It'll actually give your kick more punch. And not just make it sound super compressed. So it works really well for that also, you know. It's a lot of times when you're mixing a track, maybe just your snare or just your kick or whatever just needs that little extra bit of like impact on it, you know, that hit. And this transient knob is perfect for that. And it's really one of the best things that I've found that does that, even with like plugins that don't just come with Ableton. It's also really great for fattening up bass lines, you know, like if I turn this off, like you can hear like, the thing about this bass is that it's got that low end that you can feel. But when you turn this on, it really fills it out. It's just adding a little bit more kind of harmonic content to it in the mid-range and the low mid-range. That makes it so the bass is now not just something that you feel, but something that you feel a lot harder than you did before, and you can hear it a little bit. You know, this is really great for like getting your basses to be able to be audible on speakers, like on iPhone speakers or laptop speakers or stuff like that, so that, you know, it's not just like you can only hear the bass line on a club system. Plus it has this boom knob here, which works really well for just adding a bit of bass to a sound. I'll turn this up. We're in the key of G, so all you gotta do is basically this frequency knob tunes it to the note, and then you just click this, and then it puts it right on the note. But you hear what that boom really does for the bass line. Again, without it. And with it. And this can also work really well with drums too. You know, here's without the boom on that. And then with it, you know, the kick sounds so much more full. And yeah, so you can hear, you know, it just works so well for giving your sounds some character and making them really fit into your mix and stand out. You know, this is something that's really important. You can't just have your sounds be just dry. Like how I had this at the start, for example, where, you know, everything was clean, nothing was clipping. You could hear each individual element, but it didn't have any character to it. It didn't have any color. There was nothing about it that really grabbed you. It was just, you know, a basic drum machine with a basic stab and a bass line. Now we have that stuff still, but there's some character to it and some color, so there's something to actually sink your teeth into musically. And this is what it's all about, is using effects and sounds, not just for the sake of using an effect, but using it for, you know, to get a more emotional response out of the listener. They're going to have a stronger response to this than they are when it's all dry, because with this, there's little nuances there. You know, you can hear like the clap getting crunched with the kick. You can hear the drums sound kind of lo-fi. The stab is, you know, really sharp now. And like really punching through. The bass line is really fat and has a lot of low end. So there's a lot more to it. And this is what it's all about, is getting your tracks to really sound full and, you know, colorful and like they have some character to them. And this is why I use Drum Bus so much, is it's just a great one-stop shop for doing that. It's got a ton of stuff in there that works really well for making your sounds have all this different character and color that you need, as well as just fattening them up. Yeah, so that is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said, I just want to give you guys some good tips on why I use Drum Bus so much, and why I think, you know, you guys can benefit from using it a lot as well. So definitely make sure to let me know what you think of this video in the comments and all that stuff. Now, another thing with this video is I'm going to leave in the description, if you're on Ableton 9, Drum Bus only came with Ableton 10, so if you have Ableton 9, it doesn't work in there, you just don't have it. But what I've created to remedy this is actually a rack that does work in Ableton 9 called Drum Bus for Live 9. I'll show this to you really quick. Here is... So I'll just grab this kick. Here is this dry kick. And then I'll drop my Drum Bus for Live 9 on there. It works in Live 9 or Live 10. I'm just using it in Live 10 here. But now, we bring this on. And there we go, it does the same thing. So this rack is designed so that you can use the tips from this video and you can still use Drum Bus like I do in my videos. Even if you don't have Live 10, you can still use this in Live 9. So link to that is at the top of the description. It's only $5 and it's a great way to support me. And yeah, Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.